Sometimes when you create objects in Cinema 4D and you texture them, for example, I'll create a sphere here, you will accidentally relocate the textures on your hard drive by either deleting a file by mistake or copying them to another location where Cinema 4D can no longer find that material. So let me go ahead and just show you what I'm talking about here. There is a really cool feature called the Texture Manager, which will let us see what materials are missing. So we'll come back to this in just a moment because I have this sphere here. I'm going to double click in the Material Manager. I will load a texture by going to Load Image, and I will put one of these images on here. Now, if you notice here, Cinema 4D gives us a dialog box that says this image is not in the project search path. Do you want to create a copy at the project location? So what happens is it's going to say it doesn't know where the file is right now, and do you want to make a link to it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say no. Then I'm going to drag this texture on this sphere. And I'm going to save this file. I just put it on my desktop as Untitled 13. And I'm simply going to close it now. Now, the texture is in the folder on my desktop called Folder 1 that I created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder in here. And I'm going to drag both textures into it so that it changes the path that Cinema 4D thought that the file was located at originally. I'll come back here again and go to File, Recent Files. And since I did not tell Cinema 4D to make a copy as to where it is, since it didn't have a link established, it doesn't know where it is anymore. So what we can do is now go to our window menu and choose the Texture Manager. And of course, you know what I'm thinking. Always say yes in the future because it will make a link to that file. But of course, now that we've moved it, in the Texture Manager, we see a big X here. It says this file, which had this suggested path, is gone. Where is it? So what I can do now is I can simply replace it. To do so, I'm going to go to the menu here, Edit, Relink Textures. I'll go back to my desktop and I'll go into that new folder that I created. And all I have to do is choose the folder, hit Open, and now we have a little check mark because it has found the textures. So now our textures are relinked, and all we have to do to refresh it is simply move around or tumble inside the viewport. So today's lesson is whenever you choose to add a texture, I'm going to go ahead and put a new image here. I'll go back to this folder and I'll put this one. This time I'm going to create a copy at the project location. And that can really help to alleviate that problem. But now you know that in the future, if your textures are ever gone and you open up your model and there's this big black sphere there, or your textures are completely missing, just go to Window, Texture Manager, and simply go to Edit and relink those textures.